Hello everyone. So in the last video we got the floor insulated and framed and all that, and it looks pretty good. So the next logical step is to start putting the plywood floor down. However, I can't get the floor in position until I remove these two grey bits of trim. And if I'm going to take off them, I might as well get rid of the bulkhead liner as well. Because not only do I want to get the floor in position, but also the area behind here is actually quite expansive, and it would be really nice to be able to optimize that space, not to mention the fact I'd like to insulate the metal behind there as well. To keep this series organized and succinct, I'm going to do a dedicated video on this part of the van later in the series. So all you need to know for the time being is I just ripped the lot out so that I could get the trim out the way and begin focusing on the floor. Right. I need that. I can't even remember how I got this thing in here. Because the old floor of the van is about 90% of the way there, I decided to use this as a template to construct the new plywood floor. It just needed a fair bit of cleaning up before laying down onto my newly insulated floor. Oh my God, right, lordy lordy. Okay, so you might remember a couple of episodes ago, I spaced the battens according to a sheet size. However, that spacing only applies to the two behind me. These ones here actually need to be cut a little bit longer, and they need to end on a batten that is about here. So I'm just going to lift up this flooring and mark the location of the batten below on these wheel arches. And then that measurement will be transferred onto this. Trouble is, I've got a lot of wiggle room around the floor. It's hard to know where to locate it and if it's square or not. But fortunately, I reckon I could locate it on this corner and this corner, and then that should lock it pretty square. Because then, with it locked in those corners, it's just a case of making sure it's shifted center from left to right and that gap is even, which actually it looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to make sure the distance from the end of the floor to the line I've put on the wheel arches is the same. So that's 1515 and that's 1515. If these two measurements weren't the same, what it would mean is this edge is slightly skewed and it hasn't locked properly on these two corners. But seeing as they're both exactly the same, it means that this edge of the floor is pretty square. So we'll just see if we can get a nice old chalk line between those points. There you go, so we're looking at that little line there, chalk line all the way across, meeting up with the line on the other side. Now, because this is going to be made of two lengthwise sheets, originally I planned to put the join down the middle. The trouble is with that is, if I'm going to be going anywhere in the garage, it's going to be sitting in the middle, either fiddling with the water on the left or fiddling with the electrics on the right. So if the middle is the area with the highest traffic, why on earth would I put a join there? It actually makes sense to put it off center. So the join in the back will be in line with this batten here, that'll be one sheet, and then we'll have like a slightly smaller one here. So I'll just eyeball where the center of this batten is. I know it's sitting on one of these ribs here. So the center of the batten will be there. Mark it up the other end. The other advantage to having the join off center is that it could allow me to be a little bit more economical with the plywood I had available. So because I located the floor on these two back corners, the gap around the edge is pretty even until you get to the wheel arches here, then it opens up a bit and tightens up. And what I'm going to do to make the floor fit perfectly is use some of the excess cardboard I've got from all the deliveries from this bloody project and actually stick the cardboard down to this surface but overhanging so it hits the wall. And I'm going to go around all the edges, mapping the profile of the wheel arch perfectly. And then once that cardboard is stuck down with an overhang either side, I can then lift up the entire floor with the cardboard attached, stick that down to my new piece of plywood, and then trace around the entire thing. In my head, that works. But we'll see. Turns out this isn't an original idea. There is actually an official name for this process. I've been told it multiple times. I can't remember it right now, but yeah, if you're following these videos as a little tutorial, I can safely say that this is something that you're actually supposed to do. So you might have noticed just then that I lined the edge of the plywood up with the chalk line that indicated the join between these two panels. That allowed me to use the edge of the plywood as a reference to mark one half of the floor, in this case being the larger one. You'll also see that I've set my jigsaw to a harsh angle so that it would make it slightly easier to sneak up to a perfect fit. If you just cut these at 90 degrees, it's much harder to shave off material from the edges here and there, whereas cutting at an angle like this allows you to file or sand away just a small point in order to make things work. So with one half of the floor fitted pretty nicely, I could then go back to my template, cut away the area that I just fitted, leaving me with the area to be fitted, and then use that as a template for the remaining bit of the floor. The only thing I was left with here was a tiny bit of misalignment on the end of the plywood that could simply be trimmed down with a track saw. And then it was time to move on to the next sheet. For this one I used a very similar technique as before. I used the pre-existing plywood floor that somewhat matched the wheel arches, got it butt up against them, and then measured the distance remaining between that template and the new floor I'd just put in. Then I could simply lay the old floor on the new piece of plywood, measure that same distance protruding out from the bottom, and then begin the same process as I did before. The only slight difference I did this time round was scribe the curvature of the wheel arches onto some plywood rather than cardboard, as I just felt this gave a little bit more accuracy and rigidity when creating the templates. The next sheet was relatively simple, just a few scribes needed, as well as an area cut out for the step, and then I could move on to fitting the final sheet to finish off the floor. This one was a little bit more complicated in terms of scribing, but overall followed very much the same process. I did, however, manage to somehow screw this up and leave myself with a bit of a gap, which simply required a thin plywood strip in order to fill. Fortunately, this landed directly on one of the battens below, so it was fully supported and everything, just a bit annoying from my part. Anyway, to keep the edges of the plywood aligned over the course of their life, I decided to insert some dominoes into the edges, which probably isn't needed because this plywood's going to be screwed down to the battens, but I figured it wouldn't hurt. That said, it did make things quite difficult to install later, so maybe don't do this. I also began working on a solid wood lipping for the back edge of the van to help protect the vinyl floor from getting damaged when things are inserted and removed from the garage. Again, I'll do a dedicated video later in the series detailing this, because chronologically it doesn't quite fit here. But with everything cut to size and fitting nice and snug, I could then begin using a chalk line to mark out where the battens were below the plywood floor, because this would make it easier for me to screw into the battens once the entire floor is in position. And then from there, it was just a simple case of gluing and screwing everything down, and then trimming away the excess as required with a multi-tool and a router. And then just like that, the plywood floor was installed, which left me with a nice solid base to walk over while installing the wiring, which is going to be the focus of the next episode. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to press the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.